Every passing day, Zaur is trying to get one step closer to his peak shape. Alexey Voevoda's comments about his current shape, Devon versus Levan match, and Hermes versus Denis Siplinkov super match. And finally, Sergey Kalinchenko versus Matt Mask. Let's start. Last time, Zaur lifted around 85 kilos in this standing back pressure exercise with a belt. Then he straight away went for 97 kilos, which resulted in a failure. Zaur thought that he should have tried 92 kilos, and this is what he tried this time and easily lifted it and also held it for quite some time. So this shows that at least in this particular exercise, he may be returning closer to his peak shape, which was around 100 kilos prior to the bicep surgery that he had. And looks like he may have lost some weight as well. Sometimes we kind of overestimate the amount of endurance or stamina that may be required to win a super match. So people always complain about the weights of the not so fit looking super heavyweights like Zaur or Dmitry Silayev. But Zaur is someone who I also believe can get benefited if he becomes a little bit more fit, because he literally couldn't move on the table once his top roll fails. Hopefully by the end of 2024 we will see peak Zaur. So Alexey Voevoda said that his Instagram was hacked by someone. So that's the reason why on his Instagram page that has over 100,000 followers, there has been no updates for last 1.5 years. On his new Instagram, he's trying to put some stuff regularly, but there was nothing related to arm wrestling. So that's why we thought, and especially after Voevoda's own comments prior to the John Brzezinski match, that he will probably not continue arm wrestling if he loses that match, and he lost that match. So we all assumed that Voevoda has stopped thinking about arm wrestling, he has stopped training arm wrestling. But that is not entirely the case. He was keeping himself in shape, arm wrestling every now and then with his local club. So it's not like he completely left arm wrestling. In fact, he's still kind of active in it. For his YouTube channel, he's looking for some editors who can shoot, who can edit, and who can also do some voiceovers in English language. So Levan versus Devon prediction. Not necessarily a prediction, but his comments, his thoughts about how the matches can go. He said that yes, just like any other thing, any other sport, there's lots of techniques and tricks in arm wrestling as well. But the overall power, the base power cannot be neglected. It matters the most. And Levan has a lot of it, much more than Devon Larratt. So looks like he was favoring Levan to win that match, and he was just so much impressed with that 250-260 kilo bench press that Levan put out. He was almost speaking in a way that that lift alone is good enough to decide that Levan is going to win this super match. Voevoda thinks that Devon is also progressing a lot. He's improving. His style has changed. I think he was talking about Devon now standing taller on the table instead of going down for a king's move. And if he gets the stop, first time it will still be really hard. Maybe Levan still gets a pin, but second time it will be over for Levan Saginashvili. So Voevoda also thinks, just like many others, that Levan needs to win the match fast. And again, for the second time I've heard Voevoda speak about this. He mentioned his displeasure for the trash talking currently going on in the arm wrestling world. He said it's kind of a disrespect towards the sport and there is no place in arm wrestling for that, according to Voevoda. Hermes Gasparini versus Denis Siplinkov. I am a huge Denis Siplinkov fan and I'm thinking that 100% he's going to get destroyed by Hermes Gasparini. But Voevoda mentioned something that got me excited. He said that Denis Siplinkov's wrist is solid. It's iron. He isn't even worried about Denis losing his wrist against Hermes Gasparini. Even Devon had to go in and out many times and he had to do multiple surges to take Denis Siplinkov's wrist. And Hermes Gasparini's pronation is not as good as Devon Larratt, which I kind of agree with. But I was also thinking that even if somehow, and I have a very small percentage of that in my mind, that Denis does not lose his wrist to Hermes, still Hermes will flop press. Just sometimes in the middle gives his own wrist, like against Dave Chaffee, like against Vitaly Lalitin, and goes straight for a flop press. He doesn't care, and that will be difficult for Denis to stop. Voevoda believes that Denis Siplinkov's center game is weak. So if someone explosive like Levan Saginashvili faces him, then there's a threat that Levan goes straight through Denis Siplinkov or whoever that person is with so much power and explosivity. But fortunately for Denis, Hermes is not that explosive. So that's why the match will stop and Denis can work from there. But the hunger isn't there. The drive isn't there. Denis Siplinkov has already proved that he was a champion, and right now he doesn't have that motivation. Hermes Gasparini has all the motivation in the world, and that is going to be a deciding factor in this match. Babkan was mentioning some of the problems that Dennis is having, like if he tries to go over 125 or 130 kilos, then his blood pressure rises, so that's why he has to keep his weight low. Voevoda was kind of disagreeing a lot on this topic with Babkan. He was saying that Dennis, just like everyone else, has some problems. These problems are not unique and every athlete faces them. So this whole video and this practice with Sergey Tokarev was recorded 5 days ago. And only once was Voevoda strong enough to go through Sergey Tokarev. After that, his kind of mini Kings move, almost like Michael Todd, that is really difficult to push through, and Voevoda kind of struggled after that. Matt Mask and Sergey Kalinchenko were together yesterday on 24th of March for this Armfinity seminar, which was available for $30. And there they had an amazing after pull, almost like a practice match. It's interesting to see that how much pronation Matt can still generate while he's kind of holding his opponent low. We kind of saw that against Derek Smith as well, and I thought if Matt Mask starts grabbing you low and top rolling from there, then it is a bad time for you. You may need to think about changing your training program. But right now, it's not only Derek, Matt is doing that to Sergey Kalinchenko as well. Looks like he's getting on a different level. But still, these two are extremely close, just like their previous match that they had. It was one of the most amazing matches ever, and maybe the match goes in a very similar way if they face once again. Kalinchenko somehow has this magical ability to make every single match exciting. He has never been in a boring right-handed super match. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.